the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an anemia, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/TomaNation2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I'm going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansal, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Odumare, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America, and are of the Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a now objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the black community of weapons, break up the black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young black males under the undercover code name April 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister RAHIM to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. thanks to God for giving it, this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service. That is worship, spelled W-A-R-S-H-I-P. You can still join us for our service today right here in the Grand Crossing community of Chicago, Illinois at 616 East 71st Street. Once again, that's 616 East 71st Street. Our speaker for today is our leader, teacher, and guide, and founder of this great movement, the Toma Nation, aka the Temple of Mercy Association, Minister RAHIM Kased Aten. And the title of his lecture today is Judacrite.
In the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, the one who made time the seat of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansaf, Yahweh, Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribe as Olodumare, Obatala, and many other Orisha gods. But I bear witness that all of those names refer to the same one, Almighty Creator. And it is to that essence to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the children of those Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, is that lost 13th tribe, born here in North America, and that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of the nations of the world flow through our veins. I greet you all in the ancient but yet holy words of peace in the languages of our fathers of Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Abaragani, Alafia, And Ashe. All greeting words and salutations of peace in the many different languages of our fathers. I greet you in peace. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Toma Nation worship service. That is spelled W-A-R-S-H-I-P. And you've heard and you've seen our intro. You've heard from our announcer, Sister Ebony. And the title of this lecture is called, well, it's called Judacrite. And I will explain why in a little bit. But I am Brother Minister RAHIM Aten, along with the co-founder of this movement, as you saw in the opening, Brother Minister Omari Jahi Aten, and the First Lady of this movement, Sister Makita Aisha Aten. And the Temple of Mercy Association has been around since 1990. And we've been through our trials, our tribulations, and ups and downs that mostly everyone in every movement go through. But yet, we survive. And we are surviving. Amen. To move forward with what God has given us to do, which is our part in the uplifting of Black people here in the hellholes of North America. Judacrite is a word that was coined by me early this morning. And it's a combination of being a Judas and being a hypocrite. They kind of go hand in hand. And during the month of January, it bleeds all the way into February, knowing that we have what you call our prescribed readings. Normally during this month, we talk about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We speak on Dr. Khalid Muhammad, and give or take every once in a while, we speak on Noble Drew Ali. And the area that I usually focus on usually deals with those in his movement that betrayed him. And if you go back in the past to any lectures that you've heard during the month of January, you will see that it centered around hypocrisy and Judaism. I shouldn't say it that way. Let me say it right. Judaism, because somebody will get me on that one. I don't want to say that. But I have said many times, and I'm going to read a little bit before I really get to talking, because I'll talk for a minute and don't read nothing. But many times you've heard me say that this world through social media was erasing the notion or even the thought of the idea of a Messiah or a messenger or a savior being born into this world to deliver a people. They are erasing that in social media, and they're redefining for us who and what the churches or synagogues or temples should be viewed as, which means if they view those entities as a business, then they are viewing the ministers or priests or imams as businessmen. Let's be it. Is that correct? So if they're saying with their mouth that being in a religion or having a church or being a minister is big business, then they'll call it but a businessman. So if they successfully remove that light Then the next group they would have to deal with would be the nationalists. Because anything that looks like it's a threat to what they have established, they have to work hard to get rid of it. Now, at one time, all they had to deal with was radio and TV and newspapers. And so they controlled that pretty good. But they don't have as much of a control over social media as they would want to, because it still gets out some kind of way or another through TikTok or something. Some of these truths, they still come out. And they have to get rid of the notion of a person being a nationalist. And in order to do that and erase that, they got to make any nationalist or any group that don't agree with the policies of America, they have to make them become terrorists or any negative thing that they can. Now, I don't want us to forget that the government itself in 1832, a speech given by a senator, Henry Berry. And in that speech at the House of Burgess in Virginia, he said, "We have, as far as possible, closed every avenue by which the light may enter the slave's mind." So erase that notion of religious people or men of God coming into the world. Erase that notion of a savior. Erase that notion of a messenger, and then all hope is lost. Then you build all your hope on what they say the future of the planet is, or what they say the future of man and mankind is. We have to follow what they say. And so they said that if we could extinguish his capacity to see the light, then our work would be complete. Then he would be on the level with the beast of the field, and we should be safe. Now, I want all of you scholars who are Google scholars to look on Google as to when I say what I'm about to say. Around 1832, and a little bit before this was said, there was a situation that happened in America which they would consider an uprising. And it was a guy who I call the Messiah of that day and time. He was anointed. His name was Nat Turner. And Nat Turner, he put out a reign of terror throughout that entire state, to the fact that the word boogeyman was coined by white people based on him, because he went from plantation to plantation. And he didn't just tell the slaves, "Come on, follow me, we're free," but he killed the slave master and his children and his wife and cousins and nephews and niece, whoever happened to be in the house at that time. And it got to the point, because they couldn't catch him, that the children got wind of it. And they became afraid and frightened that they couldn't sleep at night. So in the villages and in the towns, they slept with their lights on. And the children, they asked their parents, "Don't leave them in the room by themselves, because the boogeyman would get them." They were terrified of Dr. Nat Turner. I give him any title I want to. Power to define. Black power means the power to define and develop and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people. And so they saw that happening, and they knew that that would wake up a lot of other slaves if he wasn't caught. But lo and behold, there was a Judas. Lo and behold, there was a hypocrite. And I'm going to tell you what a hypocrite is in a minute. And It was during the time where most of his people had been captured that were with him, and he went into hiding in the forest, in the woods. No one could find him, but he had one person that he trusted, usually the one, I hate to say it, usually, but not always, the one that's around you the most, the ones that's the closest to you all the time. Once the enemy find out who he is, they have already set in their heart that every person has a price. And so this was the man that was coming to see Nat Turner to make sure that he ate. This man's wife was fixing the food for Nat Turner, and the guy was bringing the food to him. This was the guy that was bringing him back information on what the people were saying about him. But yet this was the same guy that turned him in for a nice price. You know, that's what Judas did to the Messiah, the anointed one, for a good price. I guess 30 pieces of silver was a lot of money back then. Today a link card would suffice. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Give a person, increase their link, they'll tell. Am I right? I had to go there low. You know me, I'm going to go low. I ain't going to hit high, I'm going to hit low because I want our brothers and sisters to understand the degree of what I'm saying when I talk about a Judas or a hypocrite. So I'm going to deal with it on the level of where we coming from in the ghettos of North America. A fifth of Wild Irish Rose would do. If all he could afford was a half a pint for 3 or 4 years. A fifth would get it. A fifth of Wild Irish Rose would get him to shoot somebody. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. He said if we could extinguish the capacity to see the light, our work would be complete. So when they caught Nat Turner and they hung him and then they tarred and feathered him and cooked them in a pot. Said then he, talking about the slave, would be on the level with the beast of the field and we should be safe. At that time, they wasn't allowed to read, so they kept that light from the black man or the slave. But then later on, a free black man named David Walker. Y'all need to look this up, Mr. and Mrs. Google scientists. David Walker, a free black man, all right, decided that, because see, at that time, you still had people as slaves and you had some that was free. David Walker said he wanted to free a few slaves. I mean, he came up and he was born into a family that was already free. So he started having secret meetings with some of the free slaves and saying, what we gonna do in order to save some of our brothers that's still over there, brothers and sisters that's still slaves. Lo and behold, that was a Judas among them who said that he's about to mess up some opportunities that we have fought hard to get to be in our free position right now. I can't let him do that. We worked too hard to get to this point. And him and some others was whispering on the side saying, what we gonna do? And they went and told on him the day before they was gonna make the move. And they arrested everybody, got rid of David Walker. David Walker wrote something called an appeal. This is when they was taking him to court. Look it up in your thing. It says David Walker's appeal. That's right. And boy, is it powerful. I would pray that somebody would read it one day on the podium so it can be out there and you'll know what it's about. But those two people is what prompted this man, Senator Henry Berry, to say what he said, because there wasn't no others out at the time. Just like they got rid of our leaders, they got rid of the main two. the slave and the freed one. And now they said, we'll be safe. And they will be on the level with the beast of the field. We ain't got to worry about it no more. But anytime there's an insurrection, we got to snuff it out. You see, the Temple of Mercy Association was created to be a resistance movement, whether you know it or not. That's what it was. And an activist movement. In other words, they got for it a black separatist movement. See, they make these words sound so bad. See, but what's wrong with being a black nationalist? What's wrong with wanting something of your own? What's wrong with being tired of begging for everything? What's wrong with saying we want to be on equal footing with the other races on this planet, being able to, what you call it, in the stock market, trade and deal with commerce and what do they call that when you buy stuff from other countries and bringing it over here? Import, export. Thank you, because I ain't the economist, but I know what it's supposed to be. Now, where's the black man in all of that? Where's the black woman in all of that? And every time one of us lift up our head to be out from under the clutches of this white man and his world system, where they all, whether we're still on the stock market or not, treat us as if we are. And that's a commodity. One way or another, they treat us like they treat the proverbial pig. Every part of us is worth something. Am I lying or telling the truth? Boy, boy, boy. Down to our melanin, down to our fingers costing, down to our toes cost, our eyes, our kidneys, our heart, our lung, our skin. Do they miss anything? Wake up, black man, black woman. I know what's keeping you asleep. What's keeping you asleep is you just believe the only golden opportunity that you can have is if you are sitting in the lap of your oppressor. And that's your problem. That's your problem. We talk about sitting at the table, or else we would be on the menu. And you didn't hear about the man that sat at the table and saw he was still on the menu. They don't care how far they let you in their world. The only thing that happens to you, the further you get in their world, you learn what they think about you. That's what happens. And now you got to walk around muzzled, because if you tell it, they're going to kill you, or they're going to say you're crazy. Can't do like Kanye, because some of you all, as you get income, you spend it so fast that you always in debt. So you become a millionaire, but you be $1 million in debt, so you still broke. So when you get up to 11 billion, and you got $11 billion worth of bills, you can't afford to do what Kanye did and fall down to 800 million and still feel okay, because you'll still have $1 billion in debt that you got to pay. You might not see nothing happen like that, what Kanye did, for years to come. And it took that kind of individual and his outlook on money to be able to do what he did. He didn't do it to lose money, brothers and sisters. That was not the reason he did it. He knew he was going to lose money, but that's not why he did it. First thing he did, and he understood, was it's going to be a sacrifice. And that's what most of us don't want, is to make that sacrifice. Anything you decide to sacrifice for the good, you should be able to come together with those of like mind and figure out a way, working together, how we can help supplement your income so you can at least have food, clothing, and shelter. I didn't say brand name. but food, clothing, and shelter. Who said we can't come together, brothers and sisters? And if someone is tied to this world when it comes to their income, they got all these abandoned properties and buying up lots. Why couldn't we come together and say, look, don't worry about that. You need to be out here on the battlefield with us. We're going to come together and buy that house, fix it up. You can stay there. Why? Because you're a member of the movement. What movement, brothers and sisters? The resistance movement. Because you resisted. You with us. We have to take care of you. You resisted. You with us. Bring all your goods in that you got to help keep us up and moving and running, to help keep us healthy, to help keep us on the battlefield. Brothers and sisters, I know I sound kind of crazy, but can't you see we at war? Can't you see that black people have been given guns, but yet at the same time taking away opportunities that would pull them up out of their impoverished condition? The opportunity is taken away. But you can have the guns. That's okay. We'll give them to you. We'll give you the bullets. So look at our community. Just look at it. Look. Don't one of them little bullets look like a bomb? Look at them. One of them little bullets, another one look like a missile that you launch. All you looking at is miniature missiles being launched every day, every moment, every hour. We are at war. When they pull that trigger and the firing pin hit it, it's just like back in the medieval days when they lit this thing and pulled the trigger and shot the cannonball over there and hit the castle. Am I right? All we're looking at is a smaller version of warfare. Missiles being fired every day and every night. People getting blasted. We're at war. I don't know how you want to see it, but we are at war. And when people like Kanye do what he do, I know that God approves of it, because in Matthew 5, verse 14, he says, ye, there it is, are the light of the world. Yea, a city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it gives light to all that are in the house. So let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So now we look at those two Judases, the one with not Marcus Garvey, but Nat Turner, the one with David Walker. You didn't see too many hypocrites and Judases with, what's her name? The lady, Harriet Tubman. Yeah, you didn't hear about him. Wasn't no media. Wasn't no newspaper when she shot him in the head, when she left him dead on the road. She just had one rule. And that kept out all hypocrites and Judases. Maybe we need to adopt it. I'm just, she had one rule. And that rule was, if you're tired and you can't keep up and you can't make it to the next spot, we ain't gonna leave you. And we ain't gonna leave you with a couple of sticks of chewable meat, jerkies. We're not gonna leave you with some of them and dig a hole and hide you. We gonna kill you. You either get up and go or die where you are. And that meant men, women, and children. Good one, ain't it? Couldn't tell nothing. But anyway, I know I ain't gonna finish this, y'all, but I'm trying to. What I want to do is talk about the hypocrite real quick. But I want to do it from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's understanding. And I'm going to go way back to 1969. 1969. This is before Minister Louis Farrakhan came into the nation. And it says here, by Messenger Elijah Muhammad. This is a Quran scripture. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, when the hypocrites come to thee, they say, we bear witness that thou art indeed Allah's messenger. And Allah knows thou art indeed his messenger. And Allah then bears witness that the hypocrites are surely liars. The sayings of the hypocrites, that they are true believers in the messenger of Allah by calling him the messenger, and then claiming that they believe that most surely he is this messenger, so that the messenger would take them for true believers. They say that so that you could take them for true believers. So in other words, they'll say whatever they need to say to get in and get close. Oh yeah, you the messenger. Oh yeah, you the man of God. Oh yeah, I believe. Just to get in. Do you know there were people walking with Malcolm that were undercover FBI agents? And you can point them out if you watch some of the video, some of the film. It was the first person to his side when he was shot was an FBI agent administering mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Now, how you gonna do that with 30 bullet holes in your chest? Where's the air going? I wonder. On the streets, they say they aired you out now. So how you gonna put some more in there? Ain't that what they say on the street? You got to air it out. Blah, blah, blah. No, he was hastening his death. That's what he was doing. He was doing his job. And that was his job. So then he says, but God knows that they are most surely liars. If a person lies a lot, that increases their potential to be a hypocrite. They only want to use a false oath, don't mean nothing they say, as shelter for the apostle to accept them as true believers while they are not. A hypocrite is not liked by anyone, regardless of what kind of hypocrite he may be. Even if he don't have a religion, if he into politics, any person who declares he is something that he is not is a hypocrite of that thing. Whatever it is. If you're not that, you're a hypocrite. If you're not fitting the title of what you say you are, but yet you are opposite of that, you're a hypocrite. So in religion, a hypocrite is one who claims a belief in a religion and the teaching of that religion. He is not really a believer in the religion. In the 3rd verse of the same chapter of the Holy Quran, it teaches that the hypocrites believed, then disbelieved. And after disbelieving, their hearts are sealed so that they understand not. This means that Allah God withdraws his guidance from the hypocrites after they disbelieve. This is the meaning of their hearts being sealed. God does not guide them on the right path anymore. So the Holy Quran teaches. But he, God, allows them to go into the path of hell after they claim that they accepted the path of heaven and then they turned away from it. Basically, it's saying a person is in a better position to have not ever believed than the one who did say he believed with his mouth and truly didn't believe. Isn't that bad to be in that position? So y'all beginning to catch it now, Judacrite. You heard of Judas, right? Because for one, how can that Judas become Judas unless he got to the point that his faith was diminished and he didn't believe on the same degree or level that he believed on? Because anytime you're working for the cause of a people, you're sacrificing. See, and that means like when Jesus said to the rich man, if you believe and want to follow me, go home and sell everything you got and then follow me. Jesus wasn't crazy when he said it. That was a test. See, it's in the same sense of when you call yourself one of the believers and part of the movement, and we say you got to be willing to sacrifice. That means you don't go and take your stuff and sell it. That means you place in your heart and in your mind that you're saying that what I'm involved in is greater and bigger than my personal situation. That what I'm involved in deals with a future, not a present. Now, what future are we looking at when we get into these positions as nationalists or whatever we want to call ourselves? The first thing we're supposed to see is the future that we want to chart out for our children. That's the first one. Do you want our children, which is too late for me because mine grown now, but do we want our children to suffer the same things we suffer? Do you want our children to be in the same position? So if we're saying, I believe the children are our future, teach them well and let them lead the way. Well, what are they going to do? But the same thing you did, and then you did, and you did, on down. What? And if they don't like what you're doing, you're going to call them rebellious. Hypocritical. You could be a hypocrite right after you receive this message. Whoever you are listening, you can become a hypocrite because you know it to be true, but yet and still you don't want to act on it. Hypocrite. Can't be trusted. If you're not willing to give up your life, and when I say life, I mean it in two ways. When Jesus gave up his life, what he gave up was the opportunity to be married, to have children, to have a nice house, to have a nice car, to have all of that. He hadn't gotten it, but he gave up that thought. And so in the same sense, in reverse, if you come in and you understand that you got that, you don't have to give it up physically, but you give it up mentally. You get what I'm saying? Y'all get that, right? That don't mean sell your house tomorrow and say, Brother Minister, I put it up for sale. I didn't tell you to do that. I'm just being straight. I ain't never said that. Mentally, you got to be saying to yourself, if you come at me, you can't use my house to get me. You can't use my car. You can't use my job. It's not going to work. And they got to be able to see that in your eyes when they look at you. Oh, no, they got to be so cold that they'll say, well, if we took his house, that's not going to even faze him. They have to figure out what other way to get to you. Because the house, they say, no, that ain't going to work either. That car, he don't care about that car. I can see it in his eyes. When I said it, he didn't even blink. Like, yeah, right. Knowing deep down inside you, like, don't take my car, please. Don't take the car. But he can't see it because you got it covered, right? So you protecting what you got, but you said to him, I give my life and everything to stand on what I believe so that I can move our situation up a notch to say now that we do have a future and our children can take our victories and move forward on those victories. And then we will move a step further in our freedom. But what victories do we really have? Come on, y'all. Be honest with yourself. I know you're going to say something stupid. And now you're going to, say, how you going to call what I'm going to say stupid?
The half-band show.
Huh?
I said our victories are the half-band show. What we have.
Yeah, that's the victory. And then it's also because you got somebody in office. We have black mayors, we have black senators, we have black aldermen, we have black state representatives, we have black this and black that, and black. That's advancement, right? I got a brother can come up here and show you how they block every black businessman. It's almost like a game of chess. How they block your advancement while the public are being led to believe you are advancing. Meanwhile, they behind you, unraveling every damn thing you just built. He can get up here and show you that. He can get up here and tell you their names. You think the Arabs are sitting there watching you get your store, your grocery store? And you think he go home and go to sleep? Now he go home and call a meeting. And they come to the house. And they talk about your store across the street. What can we do to offset that? You think the Arabs don't know that the Hispanics are moving into these neighborhoods? You think the Arabs don't know that eventually they're going to have to get up out of there because the Hispanics don't buy from nobody but themselves? They know they got to go. And right now, most of the Arabs in our community, my community, are so smart that they want to prolong their time in the neighborhood just a little bit longer. So they say, what we going to do? So they start hiring a Hispanic now in the liquor store. Get them some extra time to be in the community, you see? Because I employed one of yours. Why didn't they think that way when we was begging them to employ us? They didn't care because they understand that we were consumers. And they know we don't trust each other. And so they build off of that. They know we can't make them hire nobody if they don't want to. We can talk about it. And then they know we're going to go back to sleep. All you got to do is when you come into the Black community, if you don't have what they want, write it down and you'll have it next week. And if you keep doing that over a period of time, you'll have everything that everybody in the community want and need. What have you just done? You have put a seal of protection around your business. I know y'all don't even see that. That's how smart they were. You say, how you know that, Brother Minister? See, y'all think I be talking from just reading articles, newspaper articles. Years ago on 77 in Halsted, when this store opened, and the Arabs were there, I kind of befriended the Arab that opened it up. And he told me he was at Olive Harvey College and he was taking up economics and he's not going to be there. He was from Jordan. All his family was from Jordan. And he's in school learning economics and he's not going to be there long. He's going to move back to Jordan after he graduates. And I watched him when people came in the store. I would come in and talk to them. And they would go and look for something. They'll come back and they'll say, do you have so-and-so, so-and-so? He say, no, but what is it? And he'll get his pen out and write the name of it, the brand and all. He said, okay, we'll have it by next week. And he did it every day. And he removed the stuff that nobody was getting. But he replaced it with what everybody was asking for. He didn't say, no, we don't sell that. You know how Black people do. That's why we don't get nowhere. I used to say that about us, but if I don't talk about us sometime too, I wouldn't be right. We're just, oh, we don't have that. And then y'all be like, okay, nothing else behind that, like I'm going to get it or something. Aren't you going to get it? No, you better get used to that one. Ain't that how we think? You keep coming back enough, you won't be looking for Del Monte. You'll take whatever it is. They got some new names now. You got to go to Aldi's. They got stuff they call potato chips. Not what they, not the brand name, just chips. Y'all think I'm playing? I was gonna say something, but I ain't gonna bust nobody out with these unbrand name articles they bring for food up in this movement. Anyway, I'll let you all figure that one out. Anyway, let me finish reading. A hypocrite, all right? Well, we already know God withdraws himself from that person. In the 4th verse of the above chapter of the Holy Quran is a warning to us that when we see those hypocrites and disbelievers, now what are we asking people to believe in? Our religion? No. Are we trying to ask them to believe in our God? No. We're asking you to research what you hear us say. Research it and come back and work with us on it. And if it's something that's good for our people, and if it's a plan that you know without a shadow of a doubt, can help our people. And if your heart is in not only helping yourself, but our people, then we ask you to get with us, because we are not scared. We are not afraid. We're part of that group who don't have Kanye's money, but will do exactly like Kanye did. Expose your raggedy behind. That's what we do. We ain't afraid. I know I ain't. Because I know this FBI and all that. We already know they got surveillance on us. We already know it's COINTELPRO dealing with texting and all of that. It's called COINTEL texting. That's what it is. Now go and tell that, COINTEL. It's COINTEL email. That's what it is. Let's tell it like it is. It's COINTEL Facebook. I'm telling you. COINTWIT. I'm telling you. I know what it is. They ain't stopped. They used it against Marcus Garvey. They used it against the Black Panther Party. They used it against Martin Luther King. And they continuing to this day to use it. And there ain't no room for the hypocrite. If you ain't ready, stay where you are. But if you come here and you're not ready, you're going to get ready. Because we ain't bending. But if you know in your heart that you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you want a future for your children or grandchildren or whoever, for ages and years to come, unless you have settled for the extinction of Black America, if you've settled for that, I'm not talking to you, because I know your character. Your character is get all you can while you can, because I ain't got to work toward nothing. But if you understand like I understand, let me finish reading. I ain't going to finish this, y'all. I really would love to. But please take what you can. I think we know a little bit about the hypocrite, right? I don't have to keep going. So let me move to the next phase here. I want to talk about COINTWEET. COINTIKTOK, COINTEXT. Following are transcripts of official FBI COINTELPRO documents obtained under the Freedom of Information Act. Now, the purpose of this counterintelligence, when you counter something, that means you go, like say, if you hit me, I hit you back, that's counter. That's basically what it is. So if I counter your intelligence, right now is people who they are watching that they know how to deal with your texting to where you would text something to the person who they know you're texting it to. And that person might be a high-ranking person in your movement, and you all are trying to get some information back to one another. And what his job is to make things very uneasy for you, to make you think that the other one don't care what you're doing and ain't even involved in what you're doing. So you'll text it and wait for a response and won't get it. And if y'all had a slight disagreement the day before, they understand the equal opposite reaction. And sometimes, just to show you I know what I'm talking about, everyone in here, if your phone is on and I'm loud enough, something I'm talking about will come up on your Facebook. They hear us. I was in my house and my desktop don't even have a camera or nothing where you could hear. All right, my desktop computer. I'm sitting at my desktop computer. The plumber's in the kitchen working on the sink. So I'm talking loud. We talking about music, Duke Ellington and Count Basie. Who was the best? And I'm saying Count Basie was for the upper bougie black people, his band, orchestra. And Duke Ellington was for white people, big time white people. And so we were going back and forth debating. And when he left, I decided to go on Facebook. And I went on Facebook and I kept seeing videos popping up on Count Basie and Duke Ellington. I'm like, no, how is that possible? I ain't even have it on, is what I'm telling you. I wasn't even on Facebook. And so I called him quickly. I said, man, do you know what we was talking about is all over my Facebook page, showing you again. You think if we know this, you would say, well, ain't y'all afraid that they're going to get you? You see, the only people that would be afraid is the people who don't have no faith in a higher power. And I don't mean having that kind of faith because you read the Bible a lot or you read the Quran a lot. I ain't talking about that kind of faith. That kind of faith is called book faith. That's in the book. I'm talking about the kind of faith that lets you know and understand the reality of that Bible and the reality of the Quran and the reality of angels and who they really are in that Bible and in that Quran. If you understand who we truly are in the Holy Quran and you take that knowledge and manifest it to everyday occurrences happening on the planet and your relationship to it, you will know without a shadow of a doubt you got backup from on high. I know what I'm saying. I'll just let you say for a minute. I'll back up and get out of the way. All right, let me come on back. I hope you saw it. We got backup. And I know it to be true. And they do too. You're talking about your angels? You think they spirits? They real beings. They beam down and actually manifest. What do you mean, Brother Minister? Well, Jesus went to pray in the garden. And the third time that he came back to pray, two angels appeared on each side of him. Where did they come from? Did they have chicken wings? Were they for sale?
Did they have a dress?
Did they have a long dress on? Did they have yellow hair? No, stop it. Stop it, black man. Stop thinking like that. Where did they come from? Remove that from your head. These were men. Man is the common, what could I call it? It's the common genetic term used for any beings that are made in the image of the Creator or the black mind, the great mind. Any beings that are made in that image are man. And all you women feminists, the black ones, you need to get up out of there. You help and support a white doctrine. You help and support a woman who has always been against her man. I'm just telling you the truth now. Study that. So now, you got these beings all throughout your Bible. You got these beings all throughout the Holy Quran. They come together, they have meetings about what's going on earth. All within the 6,000-year time period, which is a small time span that they showed themselves among our people. When Mary was supposed to have a baby, this was all within that 6,000-year time span that I'm talking about, because we've been on this planet for 66 trillion years or more. Some say 78 trillion. So look how small 6,000 is. That's like $6,000 compared to $66 trillion. That's just a speck on the beach. You ain't hardly been here. So in the Holy Quran, when Mary was visited, all right, again, by some beings, y'all can call them angels. And she said, well, how can I have a child when I have never known a man? And the council got together. Yeah, it's a council of beings. And said, it is easy for us. Look in the Quran. Said us. That wasn't the Prophet Muhammad speaking. Because the same beings were the ones who said, we sent to the prophet rain. Because they were starving and they were thirsty in the desert. They said, we sent rain. We poured rain down. And it quenched their thirst. We. So again, it said, we sent to her. We did. Come on, y'all, get out of your spookism. Come on, Muslims. Come on, Orthodox. All y'all, let's find out who we is. I know you want to see it in some old clouded, messed up figure. But he said, we sent to her. Now, if you want to get spooky, this is the only spooky part of it. Our spirit. But yet he didn't just leave it like that. He said in the form. So he put the spirit in a form. He put the spirit, their spirit, in a form. You know, their ancestors had used that same words, you know. He said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Those were the ancestors of those who said, we sent to Mary our spirit, the same lineage, and said, in the form of a well-made man. Now, I can say it didn't have to be Hugh. Y'all hear me? Didn't have to be Hugh, man, but it was a man. And he sent his spirit to that. See, this is the stuff that we do in Toma. We bring to life what's in your Bible, what's in your Quran. Even if you study Kemetic information, we share with you the knowledge of who those people were. Because we study without a shadow of a doubt. Usa, Aset, Heru, who you call Osiris, Isis, and what's his name? Horus. They weren't human beings, but they were man. They were descendants of the Anunnaki. And some of them considered them to be of a greenish type hue. They were so dark, purplish dark, that they cast a greenish hue, a light over them. And some people called them the green man or the green men. They was under the same lineage, brothers and sisters, of a person in the Holy Quran that they call Al-Qadir, telling you all about y'all people. The same lineage of a person in the Holy Bible that they call Melchizedek. These were men, but not human. In your church where you say, build your hopes, you said, I look to the hills from which my help cometh. Who are you looking for? For help. When Martin Luther King prayed before they did any marching, who was he praying to? Let's get to the bottom of this. And every one of you hypocrites, and every one of you Judases, you have your place, But guess what, hypocrite, Judacrite? Your time is up. Your crap don't work no more. Because the same social media that you use is open to us too. It's your word against ours. Oh, y'all don't know what I'm saying. I know you don't. I know you don't. And I ain't got time to explain. It sounds so simple. See, the hypocrite who was in Khalid Muhammad's camp when he was with the new Black Panther Party, the hypocrites and Judases was right there in the Nation of Islam when they saw and heard certain disagreements that Minister Louis Farrakhan had with Dr. Khalid, to the fact that one of the former members wrote some of it in a book. Way before the book of Khalid came out, I got a book. And I know the enemy set it up for me to see it some kind of way, or maybe it was God. I was in a bookstore, but mostly with white books in the store. It was what they call an occult bookstore. And I was walking down this aisle. And you know how all the books be evenly on the shelf and all? This book was sticking out of all the books. It was sticking out. And I stopped and I got it. And when I seen what it was, the first thing I did was look this way, that way, behind me. I'm like, I know somebody in here did that, you know. And I got the book, took it home. It was a person that used to be in the nation, and he was telling everything he heard because he was one of the high-ranking officials. This is how I was knowing what was going on before all this stuff hit the fan. All they got to do is hear me and Omari argue. All they got to do is hear me and Joshua argue. And the hypocrite or the Judas won't say nothing right away because they ain't started no friction, or you haven't pulled a coattail yet. So they just add it up. And then they put their little twist on it. See? Was that in there? Wow. I'd tell that too, but I ain't. You know me, I will. But I ain't gonna do it right now. Anyway, back to this, because we got to talk about these Judases. And anyone in this room and in any organization can become a Judas overnight. All you got to do is be pleased with something that the leader said. Just don't like what he said. Or he might have made a decision that you felt was not a good one or a right one. Or he might have put a discipline on you that you felt was worse than the one he put on somebody else. But discipline is part of being in a movement, because discipline puts you in a position where you become a better, whatever it is you're supposed to be trying to be, of righteousness, that is. So this is what the FBI plays on. Purpose of this thing was to neutralize, you hear that word? The activities of Black nationalists organizations. Not only just the organization, their leadership neutralized. If something real strong and you got something you can put in there to dilute it, that's neutralizing. Y'all see what I'm saying? You got a strong drink, strong orange juice, whatever it is, put some water in it, you neutralized it. You got some acid or whatever and it's burning you, and you got something you can throw on to stop it, you neutralized it. So this group, counterintelligence program, counter-in-text program, counter-Twitter program, these people, they are neutralizing or working to neutralize Black nationalist groups, the leadership, the spokesperson, the membership, and anybody that supports them. See? The activities of all such groups of intelligence interest to the Bureau must be followed on a continuous basis, so we will be in a position to promptly take advantage of all opportunities for counterintelligence and inspire action in instances where circumstances warrant. I had to call Minister Omari to my house that day because we thought we were texting each other, and we weren't. He came by. He showed me on his text and mine the last place where it was a like. And then when I showed where I text, which was right under that, and I looked on his, it wasn't there. He said, wow, that's pretty deep. Sometimes you could be on Zoom, and right when you get into a certain point that you know you was finna say something, something happens. Right away. And see, they know how to make regular technical difficulties fit in with the stuff that they do so that you don't get to tripping. And some of the things you start saying, they might say, oh, now they're getting paranoid. See, you can control paranoia if you was a person who don't take things for granted. Did you hear what I just said? If you don't take things for granted, you'll never be paranoid. It's the ones who take stuff for granted stay paranoid. See, when I see stupid stuff that happen, and I know that in life everything ain't gonna be perfect, I just look at first, how often do it happen? Then if the same thing keep happening with just certain people, if I get a straight line to certain average people around me and it don't never happen, but it always happens when it's Omari, I start going, something wrong with this picture. Why just Omari? It ain't happened with Cheryl. It didn't happen. Okay, just Omari. Oh, why is it always when it's this subject? See, you got to be able to, before you start telling people, you got to be able to have your own investigation first. You don't walk around, see, somebody will buy a car and then start saying all the cars that look like his from the time he bought it, and he might start thinking, conspiracy. But that's normal. Them same cars was out there. But that's a normal occurrence, that you'll see your car all over the place. But it was already there. So you can't get paranoid on something like that because you're supposed to know that. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? Since I already know people follow me, I ain't got to get paranoid, do I? See what I'm saying? I ain't got to get paranoid. Brothers and sisters, since I've been in this thing, I've had somebody send a brother, it was a white boy, sent a black guy to a banquet that he knew that I was going to be at because of the flyer that was out. When I got there, he was already sitting at my table. Sat at my table, introduced himself, knew me. And then he told me what organization he was with. And I just smiled. I said, I just got through talking to that white man and telling him I am not interested in what he's bringing to us, and you can keep it for yourself. And he still wasn't going to give up. He said, maybe he'll listen to a black man. So he got a black Judas out of his organization, a black Judacrite in his organization. So you can be one too and don't have to be in this movement. You could be a Judas because you're in the black community and somebody get you to work for them on their behalf to try to remove you out of your place. It could be move us out of this building. It could be to remove, whatever it is. 10 minutes. So what I'm trying to say in 10 minutes, yeah, I had 10 minutes. What I'm trying to say in 10 minutes is that the Temple of Mercy Association, I'm gonna get this one piece of paper to say what I want to say, will be called a separatist movement. And in some of my literature, they pointed out certain groups like the Black Panther Party, the Moorish Science Temple, they called those people of interest to follow, to look at. And we say all-inclusive, Black conscious righteous. But yet, we agree with Minister Louis Farrakhan when he says separate. Because all the times that we've been on this planet working with our open enemy have not turned out to be anything nice. And it didn't matter how high you went up in his world. He still ain't gonna let you be toe-to-toe with him, equal. He has to be over you. He don't work that hard to be over any other nationality. But with us, we can't walk alone. He won't allow that. So what must we do? And why wouldn't he allow that? He knows who we are, and he knows we don't. He knows our potential. He knows that the truth of everything he lied about is coming up. His children know it, and they're angry at him. They joined some of us in some of these marches and protests because they found out mama lied, daddy lied, uncle lied, grandfather, grandmama lied. What did they lie about? They lied about almost every invention in this room and every invention on the planet, that 99% of everything that's been made on this planet was made, and the blueprint of it was made by a Black man. They know that now. They know that Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. They know now that Thanksgiving wasn't good for those Native Americans there, but it was good for the Pilgrims. They know that was a lie, what they taught them in school. They know Jesus is Black now. They know their parents been lying, and they're angry, and they don't know how to protest against them. So they join us in a protest. Not us, Toma, because you can't come with us. I don't care whatever you find out about your people. You ain't walking with us. We walk alone. You go downtown, we'll be on the south side. And that's not racist. That's race first. Let's spell it right. Not racist, race first. And every other race on the planet practices it. And when we say we want to do it, something must be wrong with it. Why is that? What are you keeping us away from? What is it? Richard Pryor had a TV show that exposed all of the lies that the white man had put out. He was doing it in like skits, and they got rid of Richard Pryor. See what I'm saying? So this new thing that they got out, that the FBI got out, is called Black Identity Extremists. What are they trying to tell us, brothers? And we ain't really hearing it. We want to keep taking up for this white man, but what is extreme about identifying as Black? Why is that extreme? Why is that extreme? We know that it was extreme to the extent that you went about putting the definition of Black in your dictionary. That was extreme. So now what's extreme about us identifying as Black? What's wrong with it? Black nationalists. That hurts your heart, don't it? Black activists. Black separatists. That's us. Now you want to put out something called cancel culture. Brothers and sisters, the cancel culture will evolve into what it was really set out to do. And that is to cancel the cultures of every race on this planet and replace it with transgender culture, homosexual culture, and every other cloning type of method and culture and food and dress that these new beings that they are creating on the planet is going to push forward. And whatever your culture was ain't going to mean nothing. Because in their culture, they got each one from every group. They got a Chinese, they got Hispanic, they got black, they got male, they got female, and all of them gonna make up the culture because they canceling yours. You heard it here first. You only see it at the beginning right now. They only canceling what you say. But brothers and sisters, Bill Gates and his boys want to replace everybody's culture on this planet with the transgender and those other cultures and make them into cultures when they really a sexual orientation. It is not an actual culture. I'm here to tell you, and I will argue anybody down if they want to argue. So if you tired and sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you ain't afraid to be a part of a group who ain't pushing no religion on you, but I'm letting you know that the God of your Bible and your Holy Quran and his angels are real beings, and that they exist, and they are among us, and you want to know more about it, and you want to feel good in your heart that there is hope where it looked like it's hopeless, where you now truly don't have to depend on the police. You truly don't have to depend on the politician. You truly don't have to depend on your president. You truly don't have to depend on your employer. But you can depend on the true God and his angels. Then just come on down here on Sundays and Wednesdays at 616 East 71st Street and join us and help us build the kingdom of heaven on earth. We're not the kingdom of heaven, but we part of the bricks that make up that kingdom. There are others building the kingdom and helping pull it together and coming together with those bricks in that quarry and carrying them in their aprons and carrying them all the way till they get it to the King of all kings. Oh, y'all, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Others don't. But I'm going to shut up because I know my time is up. But I just want you to know that these Judases and hypocrites are in your organization. And we just showed you how to know who they are. They say they believe and they don't, and their actions prove they don't. They take an oath and they don't believe in the oath that they took. They make you believe that they are true, but according to the Bible and Quran, but they go behind your back and talk about you and say, I'm not really with that group. I'm just in there to get this and get that. These are the Judacrites among you. And don't forget it. You have Judacrites. Just don't you become one, because you can become one overnight. Any and everyone can become one overnight. So let's be true to what the Creator laid out as righteousness. Let's be true to what the Creator laid out as good moral behaviors that will identify you as one of the righteous on this planet that is looking for others who would love to be part of the righteous. We're right here in Chicago, 616 East on 71st Street. The announcer will come up and give you the phone number and all those other good things that you need to know. There's a Judacrite among you. There's a Judacrite walking among you. Be well. Peace.
Wow. I hope those of you who are here in person and those of you who are watching us live on Facebook and YouTube got something from out of that lecture, because I know I really, really did. That was such a powerful lecture. I think we might need a part 2, Brother Minister, because all I can say is wow. I think one of the most interesting things about the lecture is that, you know, it is when he gave all of those examples, you see that it's very very easy for you to become a Judas, for you to become a Judacrite in any movement that you're in and anything that you're doing. So you better watch what you're doing. Before I close us out, I just wanted to read this little bit because I just thought it was interesting in what Minister said when he talked about us, these Google scholars. And when he was talking about David Walker, I just want to read this little couple of sentences about the law that was passed and tell me how it relates to 2023. It says that in the famous decision made in the case of State versus Mann, 1829, North Carolina Supreme Court Judge Thomas Ruffin ruled that despite the right of slaves to life and the desire to protect them from abuse, the power of the master must be absolute to render the submission of the slave perfect. Ruffin's decision gave total control to slaveholders over their slaves in the hope that the more power the slaveholders had, it would ensure the obedience of the slaves. Wow. It's some very heavy stuff. And like he said, I would recommend that everybody go back and read that piece from David Walker, The Appeal. So I'm going to close us out. I hope you have enjoyed what you have heard today. I hope you have been fed spiritually by what our minister and leader, teacher, and guide and founder has brought to you today. Please feel free to support us in a monetary donation via Cash App at TOMANATION. Once again, that's TOMANATION. And once again, we would like to extend an invitation to you and your family to join us right here each and every Sunday for our Sunday worship service, WARSHIP, right here at 616 East 71st Street in the Chicago community, in the Grand Crossing community of Chicago. You are welcome to join us. Thank you so much, family, and we'll see you next Sunday.
In the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.